Okay, everyone, welcome to this latest Mastering Life Shorts, week 6. Today, we're going to be looking at the second of 3 in total webinars on Brene Brown's list of 10 guideposts for living wholeheartedly. Now, those people who weren't here for week 3, the 3 that we talked about then were cultivating authenticity, cultivating self-compassion, and cultivating resilient spirit. And today I'm going to be talking about the next 3 of her guideposts. And just to remind you, so Brene Brown is a researcher in shame, vulnerability, and basically showing up. And she's found this group of people called the Wholehearted, who seem to be getting things right. And these 10 guideposts are ways that you can move your life forward. So we're looking at 3 more today. First of all, a story, and this story is very much about how you can never tell what might happen next. So this guy is Tobias Shepard. That picture was taken around 2012. That was the year that he started a business, a coffee shop in Sheffield in England. The business started to grow, and he actually opened 3 new stores within 12 months. He was doing really well. The next year, in 2013, he met his partner. By 2014, he was a millionaire. He'd reinvested the profits from his business into a marketing agency. And then it was the same year that he and his partner adopted 2 children. He then brought his partner, who had been a student at the time they met, onto the executive board of the agency. By 2015, he was able to sell the business for over £10 million. What do you think happens next in this story? Now, if you're waiting for something to go wrong, you're like the rest of humanity. Tobias Shepard doesn't actually exist. That's some stock photo. The point about this is this concept of foreboding joy. Now, foreboding joy is the concept that this is just too good to be true. Something must happen soon that is going to go wrong. And we all feel this at times. It's that waiting for something to drop and just, this is too good. Now, evolutionary, this actually comes from a good place. So there's a TED talk by another amazing woman called Lucy Horn on resilience. And if you listen to this TED talk, one of the things she points out is that it was really important for us as we were evolving as a species to look out for risks. And she gives the example, if you're a cave person, you're coming out of a cave and you look left and there's this beautiful sunset, and you look right and there's a wolf, then it's the wolf you need to attend to. So what we often do is we look for the wolf. These days, though, we don't really have that many wolves coming for us. Yes, we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's some bad stuff going on in the world, but we've got nowhere near the problems that other people have. But we still have this thing in the back of our mind that something must go wrong soon, so we're going to have to keep a lookout for it. So the 3 ways of getting around that come from Brene Brown's next 3 guideposts for wholehearted living. So the first is cultivating gratitude and joy, letting go of scarcity and fear of the dark. Now, this picture is from about 2011. That's Bear on the left and Jensen on the right. They were my 2 cats. They were both rescue cats. And the thing about rescue cats is half the time you don't even know their true age. And you don't know if they've got any underlying conditions that the previous owners didn't want to have. So you really don't know how long you're going to have rescue cats for. It turns out that Jensen is still around at least 9 years later, and Bear only passed away last year, very sadly. But we had many, many happy years with them. They were me and my partner's cats at the time, and Jensen still lives with my ex-partner. Now, I know lots of people who will say, oh, I can't get a dog, I can't get a cat because I couldn't cope with it if it died. And you think to yourself, well, I had 9-10 years with these 2 little fellas, and they were beautiful fellas, and we had so much fun and so much love from them. Why is it that people are denying themselves that for a possibility of something that might go wrong in the future? Another example from this was my ex. And if I was going away for a couple of days for work, I would then get the whole week beforehand with him moping around because I was going to miss. He was going to miss me for 2 days when I was away. And I would point out to him that he was going to have a bad time with me for, instead of just 2 days, he was going to have a bad time for about 7 or 8 days because of 2 days. And that made no sense at all. So enjoy the time you've got that person and then miss them when they're away. And we do this all the time. So the first thing we need to do is we need to catch the negative thoughts. We need to catch ourselves saying things like, this is too good to be true. I can't really be the one who's supposed to be here. I'm really no good at this, or I'm not as good as other people. She doesn't really love me. Or that classic imposter syndrome. I don't deserve to be in this position. There are other people who are better qualified than me. And as soon as we catch those thoughts, then we need to turn them into gratitude, into being really grateful for what we've got and really enjoying the moment. Now, there's lots of different ways of practicing gratitude. I do this sometimes with my clients when I find them going around in a circle, that I go, okay, just give me 3 things that you're grateful for. Some people find it really easy. I said to someone the other day, I'm not just a glass half full person. I'm half full glass, and I notice that there's another half of the glass I can fill up with more. That's great. Some people find it very difficult. So if you're one of those people, then get online, and there are loads of different resources out there for practicing gratitude. Some, for example, are gratitude journals that you write 3 things every day that you're grateful for. Maybe you want it even better, even more broken down. And there are things like gratitude calendars, where you say on the first day of the month, name 3 people you're grateful for and give them a ring. On the second day, name 3 foods you're grateful for, and so on, going through the month, to really help you to really show appreciation and really ground yourself that actually it's not that bad. The next of the 3 signposts that we're looking at today is cultivating intuition and trusting faith, letting go of the need for certainty. Now, we all have this thing in us, as I say, to find the bad. And we've all had that experience where you've walked in a room and gone, there's something wrong here. I don't like it. I'm going to get out. Or there's something wrong with that person. There's something just not matching up. And generally our intuition in that case is correct. The absence of that intuition that something is wrong, though, is also an intuition that something might be right. And for some reason, we don't trust ourselves with that. Now, in some cases, it's really, really important to know what's going to happen. In some cases, it doesn't. So as an LGBT plus person, if you're talking about coming out to your family, then absolutely you need to know that you're safe. And for example, you might want to check out people's attitudes to homosexuality or transsexuality or whatever, in order to make sure that if you say something and you come out as your authentic self, that you're not going to lose the roof over your head. However, say you're going to a weekend course with people you're never going to meet again. Do you have to sit around waiting to know that you're safe to say, you know, I'm gay? If someone says, oh, have you got a girlfriend? And you think, well, actually, I've got a boyfriend. But what's it matter? What's the worst thing that can happen? They don't talk to you for a weekend, and then you get on with your life. So really, sometimes we need to just trust ourselves and say, no, it's fine. How do we know if we're not trusting ourselves? How do we know we're looking for that wolf? And there's certain phrases that we all say that really suggest that we're trying to control the future and know what's going on in ways that we can't. So imagine someone rings you up and says, hey, after lockdown, why don't we go on holiday together? Should we book something now? Or, you know, why don't you come and work for my company? Or why don't you come and have this? I'm going to give you a promotion. Would you like it? If we catch ourselves saying things like, oh, I need to know more to make a decision. Oh, let me think about that. Or I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. then are we actually truly trying to find more information, or are we just not trusting our intuition that this is the right thing to do and we can just grab that opportunity and run with it? The next of the signposts is cultivating creativity, letting go of comparison. Now, I've got a niece and nephew, twins, who are 3 years old at the moment, and they are amazing to be with. They play and sing and dance and draw pictures, and they don't care what other people think. And something happens between the age of 3 or 4 and adulthood that means we stop just doing things for the very fact that we want to do them, and we start doing them while watching other people and other people's response to them. And it's I think it happens in school, and this comes as someone who worked in education for 22 years. We spend our lives being compared by our teachers and by our peers. I can remember the guy in my art class when I was 14 who was brilliant at art. I stopped doing art at 14 because I was like, oh, you know, there's better people than me. When did we stop writing stories and drawing and singing and doing all of these things? And you know, even in BDSM, there's that beautiful picture on here. You see these pictures of people doing amazing Japanese bondage, and you think to yourself, well, I could never do that. So you don't even try. When was that you stopped trying to learn? You stopped trying something new. And in that, when did you stop having joy in your life? Because that's basically what we're doing. If we're not enjoying writing and dancing and singing and drawing and pitch and all of this stuff, then we're stopping ourselves from feeling the joy. So think about what joy you're missing out of by always comparing yourself to those people who are great. And it could be the smallest thing. Like you see these people who've got TikTok sorted and they've got amazing TikTok things. And you think, well, I could never do that. So I'm not even going to bother going on the platform. How do you move forwards with this? Well, as always, I've got a worksheet. You can download it from englishleathermaster.com/mastering-life-shorts. And you need the password joyous with a capital J on that worksheet. Then there's 3 exercises for you to really think about these 3 signposts and to bring more gratitude and joy, more intuition, and more just having fun, creativity into your life. You can also register for future webinars on that. So if you're watching this on the YouTube catch-up, that's where you can go, and all the videos are also there from the last few weeks. Next week, we're going to be talking about success. Now, success is something that I spent a lot of time talking about in my previous job. For 22 years, I was working in education, in particular in assessment. So I know what people think is success. And believe me, success on paper is not the same as success in real life. So I'm going to really look forward to unpicking that one with you next week. So really great to have everyone here today, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you before. If you've got any feedback, incidentally, please drop me a line on my website or via my Twitter feed. And I'd love to hear how you're finding these webinars. And as always, if you want to go into this in more detail on your own, then please do drop me a line via my website, and we can talk about how we can help you on a one-to-one basis, you know, cultivate a more wholehearted, fulfilled life. Brilliant. Thanks a lot, and see you next week.